I failed sex ed in high school. What's up? Give it up for the previous comedian. Thanks, Dana. I am an actor. Some of you might recognize me. I was at the CVS down the street 30 minutes ago buying a UTI test kit. That was me. I also love my work. Thank you. I'm also a nanny. Men find this really hot because every man wants to date their mom. And I'm the next best thing. Being a nanny in Los Angeles is like being a mannequin on Rodeo Drive. You're surrounded by affluence and luxury, but none of it is meant for you. You're just a lifeless body that's been carted in for rich children to poke and prod at. And the parents are like, that's fine, sweetie. You can rip her arms off. Just don't damage anything expensive. I was taking care of a 3-year-old who was tired of her toys, and her mom just handed her a credit card and went, here, play with this. And she didn't even want it. Another kid I nanny for said to me, Viva, I don't like the way you talk. And I was like, neither does anyone in Hollywood, Theodore. That's why I'm driving you to Erewhon right now. Get out your credit card, you're buying. I have to read picture books to these children, and it is scary stuff. If you guys want to know why capitalism will never be abolished, it's because of Thomas the Tank Engine. I'm reading books to these children, and it's like, Thomas the Tank Engine had a rock stuck in one of his wheels, and he was sad because working 24 hours a day was what he loved to do most. Curious George, a very exploited monkey. Curious George's adventures always involve him doing manual labor for free. He wanders off for 7 hours and accidentally helps a group of construction workers build an entire hotel. And they pay him with a banana, and he's like, that was fun! Although, to be fair, Curious George does act like your friend who always gets too drunk in the club. He's always running away without telling you where he's going. He makes a bunch of weird friends that you have to hang out with. And he's always like, these 6 nice men said they'd take me home. I'm all good. And if I was that hammered, I'd do manual labor for snacks too. I'm sorry, I spend my entire day with children, so I have no idea how old I am. Mentally, I'm 7, but physically, my back is broken. I have a TikTok, but I also have to take 15 pills at my bedtime, which is 8 p.m. It's confusing. I saw a group of teenage girls at Ralph's the other day, and in my head, I was like, we're the same age. Until I saw that they were buying 4 party-sized bags of Doritos, and I was buying a bottle of wine and Pepto-Bismol for after I drank the wine. I got stung by a bee the other day. Didn't think that happened to people over the age of 5. But then again, I didn't think I'd be babysitting after I finished saving up for my 7th grade trip to Disneyland, and here I am. It's confusing. My back is actually broken. It just stopped working last June. All my friends were like, hot girl summer, and I was like, yeah, what about a Frida Kahlo girl summer? I can't move. Anybody want to do crafts? What's hotter than artistic capability? No one could figure out what was wrong with me. I went to 4 or 5 doctors. They finally sent me to a physical therapist, which is what doctors do when they're tired of seeing you. I'm convinced physical therapists are sadists. Their entire process with you is like, does that hurt? Can you say ouchie when it hurts? If I press right there, jackpot, look at your face. Why don't you tell me everything that hurts like a motherfucker, and we'll practice doing that until your body learns its fucking lesson. And that went on for a while. I couldn't do a lot of essential activities. I couldn't drive. I couldn't work out. I couldn't suck dick. And that was a real blow. And it took a real toll on my sex life because having an unknown back condition where it hurts to give head sounds fake. Dudes would get all huffy like, oh yeah, it hurts to suck my dick. And I had to explain to them that that's the one thing I'm not allowed to practice in physical therapy. I think everyone's sex life took a hit over the past 2 years. COVID was a weird time for dating. I moved back in with my parents, which is notoriously bad for your sex life. And also your life. I think sitting at home all day, just staring out my window for 6 months, gave me a sort of Jane Austen ingenue energy. I now understand why women in the 1800s just left with the first man they could find. Like, this man has his own house and my entire family doesn't live in it. Sold. I ended up dating a man 11 years older than me. Very Jane Austen. It was fun for a little while. It was kind of like hanging out with a foreign exchange student. I would just like point to various objects and be like, what do you call this? And we learned that he didn't know the word sorry. Movies and TV shows always make the idea of dating an older man seem really sexy. Like, they always point out the obvious bonuses. Like, he has a house, he has a job, he'll definitely give you an A+ in English now. And it makes sense. Guys in their 20s are a mess. But they're a mess in much simpler ways. When I date guys my age, their biggest problem is that they leave their credit card at every bar they go to. That's a way simpler fix than a 35-year-old man who loves Joe Rogan and doesn't know what non-binary means. I think the biggest problem with our age difference was that he had a career, which I think is very 10 years ago. I've noticed that most people who have careers are under the age of 35 because when millennials and older generations were growing up, they could, what's the word? Oh, plan for the future. When I was in college, I didn't have to take a single final because 5 separate wildfires threatened to set my university ablaze. I'm not planning for shit. I am summa cum laude, though. But this man was very into planning ahead and very into the grind mentality. He would always say things like, hard work pays off. And I would say, no, hard work should pay money. Now. It isn't a loan, it shouldn't be paid off later. But he was very into expanding your network, so he would counter with, well, you know, sometimes you just gotta do people a favor and trust that you'll get something in return. Get something in return? Like what? A fucking banana? This is what reading Curious George as a child does to people. Alright, I'm Viva Rose. Thank you.